Hi, let's talk about a new learning platform for Avenza. We are Team Red Geographics. We're an Avenza partner from the Netherlands, and we've been an Avenza partner for almost 20 years now. Personally, I myself have been using MAPublisher for well over 25 years. And so needless to say, we love the product, we use it a lot, and we know a lot about it. Now, let me first take you along on sort of a typical kind of workflow that we often get when we have to do custom maps. So let's switch over to Illustrator. And let's imagine that we've been given the assignment to make a touristy map of New York City, highlighting a specific walking route that our customer has supplied to us as a KML file, and also highlighting a few locations along that route. So this is a fairly typical project that we often get, and we often get them with very short lead times, so we kind of have to produce in a short amount of time. And I'm going to take you through my process, and I'm also going to be highlighting a couple of interesting features in MAPublisher, new features in MAPublisher, and maybe often overlooked features in MAPublisher. So, in order to make a map of a walking route in New York City, we kind of first have to have a base map. And up until fairly recently, this meant that you had to start looking for online sources of map data, like OpenStreetMap or whatever local source you could find. Clip them to the area you wanted, import them, figure out the data structure, and then style them. With a recent MAPublisher update, we've been given the opportunity to have vector-based maps. So that's this option here. And basically it means that for my current artboard, I can import base maps from a certain part of the globe. So I can just drag these markers to include the area that I want to make my base map of. And obviously I'm going to focus them on New York, and specifically Manhattan. And I'm also going to make sure that I'm capturing a little bit more than I think I need. I've got an A4 size piece of paper. So I think that this is going to be good. Okay. It's going to import basic map data from an OpenStreetMap source with standard styling. And let's just get that in there. So this is going to work away for a couple of seconds. And then when it's done, I've got actually a pretty decent base map of New York City. It's also already created a map view. It's created a bunch of layers. So this is all vector data. This is all editable. And so one of the things I want to do is I want to change the scale a little bit so that my entire A4 piece of paper is filled with map. I'll go into the map view editor and there. Well, maybe one. Alrighty. So the next step is that our client has given us a KML file, KMZ actually, of a walking route in New York City. So we're going to import that. It's Google Earth. This is the one. Okay, it's coming up as WGS84, and I'm pretty sure that's a different coordinate system as my base map, but that's okay because I know MAPublisher can handle that. And I'm going to import it. And then it's actually not going to match up. Because what I did wrong is when I imported it, I should have told it to go to the existing map view, but I forgot. One thing that I think a lot of people still overlook is that you don't actually have to undo this and go back through the importer again, because it's actually created a second map view, and you can just drag this layer from one map view to the other. And then remove this map view. So that saves me a bit of time. Cool. And so, yeah, this looks like a pretty interesting walk down Lower Manhattan. And again, our customer has given us a couple of locations along this route that they want us to show. So it's like the Empire State Building and the Flatiron, and it's the Metropolitan Museum of Art. It's the top of the Rock. So a couple of those, well-known touristy places. The thing is, I don't actually know where they are. And I can go into Google Maps or Wikipedia and copy the coordinates there, or use that as a reference to manually place those locations on my map here. Or I could use the Find Places option. So the Find Places option looks within the bounds of your current map view, and it allows you to do basically search. So, Museum of Art. And it's coming back with one result, so I'm going to add it. All right. And you can see it's placed a location, a marker, on the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And I can repeat that. So I also want Empire State Building. Okay. And I want Times Square. So it's actually coming back with 4 results. Because apparently there's a pedestrian zone. It's it's known as an attraction within OpenStreetMap. There's also a subway station, and it's a commercial district. So let's just only include the attraction. It should be enough. And let's add the Flatiron. 0 results. There we go, 1 result. That's probably not it, actually. So this is a little bit of a catch, because it is looking in OpenStreetMap nominatim. So it kind of depends on how it's encoded in OpenStreetMap. And I happen to know that the Flatiron building is this really weird triangular building that's located right here. So not there. So let's leave that one for now. And the Rock. So Rockefeller Plaza. And finally Wall Street. Oh, there's actually a lot of it. Because, Wall Street is also a pretty common street name. I think if we pick the first one, it's probably going to be correct. So you can see how easy it is to add locations based on the search that you're doing. You don't need to do any tricky stuff with getting coordinates from one application to the other. And there is a little bit of a catch, because you are searching, public databases, and you kind of have to know how it's in there in order to get the correct results. But it's these little tricks that we use a lot that can save us a lot of time. And we've realized that by telling our clients, telling our trainees during training courses about these tricks, we can help them save time as well. And that's really what this is about. Because what is the best way to quickly get good at MAPublisher? It's training. MAPublisher has a learning curve, but training helps you flatten that learning curve. It helps you get results quicker. You may recall my presentation from last year, where I talked about basically helping 2 people at a safari company from 0 to producing maps in just 2 weeks. So training helps you get your results quicker. You can make more maps in the same amount of time. You can make better maps in the same amount of time, which obviously benefits everybody. And it's an investment. If you pay a lot for software and you don't get the best results out of it, it's really not worth it. So not only do you need to invest in the software itself, you also need to invest in the knowledge. And knowledge you can build up either by experience or by getting training. Now, there's traditional training offerings, but they may not suit everybody. Like, for example, an online training, it may not be at a time that's convenient for you. There's time zone differences. Not everybody is really keen on taking an online training in the evening after you've done a full day of work, or in the middle of the night in some cases. Or it's an in-person training, but it's a location that's really inconvenient for you to travel to, or you can't get a travel budget. Or the cost of the training might be a lot less than the actual travel cost. And so again, it's not always convenient. Another thing, and this is actually one thing that we come across quite a bit, is that you've taken the training. It's either online or in person, and you're really excited, but you don't actually have the time right at that point to start using the knowledge that you've gained. So you can't get to work with MAPublisher straight away, which means that whatever you've learned, it's going to sort of fade away over time. And if you wait long enough, you may just have to do the training again. Which is, of course, not the best way of spending your budget, spending your time. So that's why we're introducing the Red Academy for MAPublisher. It's an online training platform for MAPublisher. We're currently working on MAPublisher content, but we've got Geographic Imager and Avenza Maps on the roadmap. It's training videos and instructions, both as video and written out, that you can follow at your own pace. Which, of course, always means that you have the option to refer back to previous lessons. Like, okay, I know that this was covered in this training, but how did it go exactly? You can always look back. We're also adding content to it regularly. We're not just filling it with, the how does this tool work things, but also the tips and tricks. The things that really will save you time. And this is what the Red Academy for MAPublisher looks like. So we have a bunch of content, a bunch of lessons already in there, and we'll be expanding on this as we go along. Obviously, the new content will dive deeper into specific subjects, and we'll also make sure that all of the content remains up to date with the latest developments within MAPublisher. So this is the Red Academy at a glance. It's English videos and instructions. We're providing regular updates, and we're in touch with Avenza to make sure that anytime there's new functionality being added, we can have that content for you in the Red Academy quickly. We're using sample data from all over the world, so it's not US or Eurocentric. And all of the material is developed by Red Geographics, and we're building on more than 25 years of using MAPublisher for real-world mapping. We're starting off with $749 for the first year. You can sign up from that link. We'll keep that on screen for a little bit longer. We'll also make sure to get that out to you quickly. And if you're watching this during the Avenza User Conference, you can use the coupon Avenza UC to get a discount on your first year.